All military homecomings are special and full of emotion. Staff Sergeant John Morris describes seeing his son for the very first time using one word: amazing. Oklahoma State's very own Ricky Fowler just recently met up with a guy who has pancreatic cancer, but he says that his putting skills rubbed off on Ricky. As you can see, this symbol right here means light blue. So you just poke it in right there, and that's how you pump. The hope is that this moratorium will give city leaders the time they need to put a plan in place to give the people of North Tulsa better access to healthier, nutritious food. Oklahoma State football is going camping. That's right, the team is heading to Florida in hopes to catch their last win of the season. High school students and their families are about to get a break. The students will soon be able to ride public buses for free, allowing them to get to school, work, or anywhere around town without needing a ride or a car. Roxanne Holloway was walking her dog right here at her apartment complex.
Basically, your body is trying to shut down as if it's trying to survive for this final, as if you're being chased by a tiger.
Construction is already underway on an apartment complex, hotel, outdoor event center, and restaurant. Welcome to Pete's Corner. I'm Natalie Sutton. And sometimes we just need to add a little wild to our adventures. Just a short drive from campus, students can go visit the one and only safari here in Stillwater. Granny's is located in downtown Stillwater. Okay, Kevin, we've been talking a lot about treasure, and I think we can both agree if anyone deserves any treasure, it's gonna be me. In fact, it should be a crown.
A crown? Now relax. I think you may be taking this treasure thing a little too seriously.
Okay, well, have you ever heard the phrase that one man's trash is another man's treasure? Not a lot of close-knit communities like Stillwater can say they have their own brewery. Luckily, we can. The vineyard is so rich in history and makes enjoying its wine even better.
Well, I can see why. Now I definitely have to go and give it a try.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. We hope you enjoyed our hunt for Stillwater's hidden treasures.
Thank you for joining us. Come in next week when we have a special homecoming edition.
And as always,
Go Pokes.
Hi, welcome back to O State TV. I am Natalie Sutton.
And I'm Paige Lyman, and joining us is Ricky Fowler. Ma'am, I'm so sorry. We're about to do an interview.
I do.
Hey, Ricky, so 10 years ago, you were an OSU student. It's the very first time you won your first title as a Cowboy. Did you imagine yourself being here today? I'd have to say homecoming is something I'm definitely going to miss after 4 years of being here. Would you say the same for you, obviously? There he is, Oklahoma State's own Pistol Pete. Old and new, the men that once wore the head have made their way back to Stillwater for America's greatest homecoming. As you can see right now, this is more than 20 former OSU Pistol Petes. Did you go to OSU by any chance?
I did. I graduated Oklahoma State with my bachelor's degree and a master's degree.
Very cool. About you? Did you go to OSU?
I just graduated. I was on an OSU large co-ed cheer team.
Very cool,
Yep.
guys. Is your dog here?
This is Roscoe. Yep.
Very cute. So tell me, how do the girls feel about being here? Last night's homicide was the 44th this year. Compare that to last year when the number was 31. As the number of homicides grow in Tulsa, people are commenting on Facebook in disbelief. Oh no, not again. Something needs to be done. Why are people doing so much killing?
The problem you got is when they're coming so quick, we don't have time to sit back and critique it and look at it and say, how are we going to prevent the next one?
Sergeant Dave Walker with the Tulsa Police Department says evidence from each homicide helps paint a bigger picture of the violence in Tulsa.
Did we know the shooter? Did we know the victim? Did we know where the gun came from? Could we have done something different tactically to get him before he kills?
Since 2014, the number of people killed in Tulsa has gone up, peaking at 82 in 2016. But compared to the same time last June, Tulsa already has 13 more homicides this year.
The things we can't control, or should be able to control, are the bad guys with the guns, and knowing who they are and what they're doing.
Walker says they look to see the patterns of criminals and learn what they are doing, but it becomes overwhelming with the number of homicides.
Seeing patterns that are going on, and we get patterns that are happening right now, so we have to do something.
Walker says to prevent this from happening in Tulsa, people need to report threats when they see or hear them and better educate kids.
If they want to help, let's find the program that will work to start saving the next generation. I'll be probably retired, but when we start seeing that, but we got to win somewhere along the line.
Walker says it took until August 22nd of last year before the city reached its 44th homicide, the number already reached in Tulsa this year. On the scene on the story, Natalie, Sutton, News on 6. Stress is most commonly known as being a physical, mental, or emotional strain or tension. However, some believe stress isn't harmful because it increases productivity, especially when it comes to college finals. But there's a point when stress can affect college students' health. Some of the self-check methods students can do is checking to see if they're locking their jaws, having a rapid heartbeat, or appetite changes from not eating at all to binge eating. Students can reach out to OSU counselors to seek help, but during finals week, students either have little time or the counselors are all booked up. However, just a few steps to the right is the Reboot Center, where students can work on self-distressing during finals.
We can have a bunch of people in here and we have to turn people away or say, can you hang on? And we do have a spot where you can sit and wait. Sometimes we do encourage people to wait because a lot of times people may just come in here for 10 or 15 minutes and just before a class or before a test and then they're out.
The Reboot Center has a quick turnover rate because counselors and psychologists agree that deep breathing is the easiest and quickest way to control stress. A heart beating faster than normal is what specialists call fight or flight response. It's when your body is responding to a harmful event and prepares for survival.
Basically, your body is trying to shut down as if it's trying to survive for this final, as if you're being chased by a tiger.
However, according to psychologists, if a student continues to enter fight or flight mode too often, this can severely damage their body's health.
She was doing this, and she just couldn't stop. And she was doing it over and over and over to the point where her muscles were hurting.
College students putting their bodies through chronic stress over time can result in mental breakdowns, immune system shutting down, organs extremely overworked, and among other things. To prevent stress from getting as extreme as Dr. Barry's patient, college students need to learn to cope with stress instead of just dealing with it. Students can go to the Reboot Center to play games that are based on deep breathing techniques. But students have other options such as eating healthy, exercising, talking to a counselor, or self-meditating can all help. Dr. Barry's #1 survival tip for finals is to schedule out when a student plans to study each subject during the week. For Pete's Corner, I'm Natalie Sutton.